Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the news from Saba Satellite Channel from Marib. Let's begin with the headlines.
President Al-Alimi meets GCC Secretary General, stresses Yemen's stability as pillar of regional security.
Al-Arada meets political parties in Marib, calls for national unity.
Massam project removes nearly 700 Houthi landmines in 1 week. Welcome back, and to the details. The President of the Presidential Leadership Council, Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi, met today with the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, Jassim Mohammed Al-Badawi, to review relations between Yemen and the GCC and discuss recent developments. During the meeting, President Al-Alimi emphasized the deep historical and fraternal ties between Yemen and the Gulf states, expressing appreciation for the GCC's consistent support for Yemeni people and constitutional legitimacy at all stages.
He stressed that Yemen represents the natural strategic depth of the Gulf and that Yemen's stability is an integral part of regional security. The President briefed the GCC Secretary General on recent developments and on Saudi and Emirati-led efforts aimed at de-escalation and restoring normal conditions.
President Al-Alimi praised the GCC's role in sponsoring peace efforts, from the Gulf Initiative and the Riyadh Agreement to the consultations that led to the transfer of power. For his part, Al-Badawi reaffirmed the GCC's firm support for Yemen's unity, sovereignty, and a comprehensive political solution in line with the agreed references.
Presidential Leadership Council member Lieutenant General Sultan Al-Arada held talks today via video conference with the United States Ambassador to Yemen, Stephen Fagan, on political and military developments in the country. Al-Arada said Yemen is facing an extremely complex phase marked by political, military, economic, and security challenges, stressing the need for effective regional and international partnership to confront these threats and prevent efforts aimed at prolonging the conflict.
He warned that international leniency has encouraged the Iran-backed Houthi militia to undermine UN efforts, calling for concrete international support to help the government restore state institutions and alleviate civilian suffering. Al-Arada emphasized adherence to the three governing references and the declaration of the transfer of power, warning of negative repercussions on security and counter-terrorism efforts.
For his part, U.S. Ambassador Stephen Fagan reaffirmed Washington's support for the Yemeni people, stressing the United States' commitment to strengthening partnership across various fields, backing efforts to achieve security, stability, and development, and easing the suffering of Yemenis.
Presidential Leadership Council member Lieutenant General Sultan Al-Arada met today with leaders and representatives of political parties and organizations in Marib Governorate to discuss recent national developments. The meeting reviewed service and humanitarian conditions, as well as political, military, and economic developments, and the role of political forces during the country's current exceptional phase.
Al-Arada stressed that national unity and strengthened partnership among political forces are the cornerstone for confronting current challenges, foremost the Iran-backed Houthi militia coup, noting that Marib has long served as a model of national coexistence and joint action. He said political parties play a key role in reinforcing social cohesion, supporting legitimate state institutions, and backing the armed forces, security services, and polar resistance in their national battle to defend the public and restore the state.
Al-Arada urged political parties to prioritize the national interest, side-to-side differences, and unify political and media discourse to enhance stability and public trust. For their part, party representatives expressed appreciation for Al-Arada consultative approach and reaffirmed the readiness to support state institutions and strengthen national alignment.
Presidential Leadership Council member Uthman Mujalli met with the United States Ambassador to Yemen, Stephen Fagan, to discuss bilateral relations and ways to strengthen cooperation in counter-terrorism efforts. The meeting, attended by Presidential Leadership Council Advisor Mohammed Al-Shaif, reviewed coordination to confront the Iran-backed Houthi militia and ongoing Iranian interference in Yemeni affairs, as well as joint efforts to restore security and stability.
Mujalli praised the role of the Saudi-led coalition to support legitimacy, noting its efforts to create positive conditions in liberated areas and provide humanitarian service and economic support, including backing the government and the central bank in advancing economic reforms.
He warned that Iran continues to supply the Houthis with military expertise and equipment, posing a serious threat to Yemen's internal security, neighboring countries, and international maritime navigation in the Red Sea and Arabian Sea. For his part, Ambassador Fagan reaffirmed Washington's support for Yemen's security, unity, stability, and efforts to combat terrorism.
Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism Muammar al-Iryani has denied circulating rumors claiming that permits for vessels entering the port of Aden have been suspended, stressing that the reports are completely false. In a press statement, al-Iryani said the government moved swiftly to reassure public opinion and the commercial and maritime sectors by directly contacting Saudi authorities regarding the claims. He said officials in the kingdom confirmed clearly and unequivocally that the reports were unfounded and that procedure remains unchanged, noting that several vessels entry permits were issued over the past 48 hours.
Al-Iryani affirmed that Aden Port continues to operate normally in accordance with established legal and regulatory frameworks, and that maritime traffic and commercial activity are proceeding without disruption. The minister also praised Saudi Arabia's consistent fraternal support for Yemen, highlighting its role in facilitating trade and supply flows and supporting economic stability in liberated areas.
Yemen's ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Dr. Mohammed Al-Maytami, took part today in an official visit organized by the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs for heads of diplomatic missions accredited in Beijing to Jilil province in northeast China. The visit aimed to introduce diplomats to the province's development and experience and explore opportunities for cooperation with international community.
Speaking on behalf of participating heads of diplomatic missions, Ambassador Al-Maytami praised Jillin's development model and China's positive role in supporting developing countries, including Yemen, stressing the importance of strengthening future cooperation and partnership.
Al-Maytami noted that the visit carries added significance as it comes ahead of the 70th anniversary of Yemeni-Chinese diplomatic relations, reflecting the depth of historic ties and opening broader prospects for enhanced bilateral cooperation. Jilin province is considered one of China's key economic regions, with advanced industries including automotive manufacturing, heavy industry, biotechnology, energy, and modern agriculture.
The Japanese government has announced a new humanitarian assistance package for Yemen worth approximately $13.8 million, funded through Japan's supplementary budget for the 2025 fiscal year, to address urgent humanitarian needs and support peace efforts in the country.
According to a statement by Japanese embassy, the funding will support critical humanitarian sectors, including nutrition, healthcare, protection for internally displaced persons and refugees, flood response, water access, reproductive health, mine action, and the prevention of gender-based violence.
The assistance will be implemented in partnership with major international organizations, including the World Food Programme, UNICEF, UNHCR, UNESCO, UNFPA, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the UN Development Programme, ensuring coordinated and effective delivery.
Japan also highlighted the long-standing development engagement in Yemen, including support for Aden port efficiency, road rehabilitation, education access, youth vocational training, and capacity building for Yemeni government institutions. The Japanese government stressed that this support reflects a firm and sustained donor commitment to easing the suffering of the Yemeni people and strengthening resilience and stability.
The Bassam project, implemented by the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, has removed 699 landmines and explosive remnants of war during the second week of December, planted by the Iran-backed Houthi militia across several Yemeni governorates. In a statement, the project said the cleared explosives included one anti-personnel mine, 74 anti-tank mines, 619 unexploded ordnance items, and 5 improvised explosive devices. This brings the total number of the mines removed during December alone to 8,732.
Massam also reported that the total number of landmines and explosive devices cleared since its launch of the project has now reached 528,192 after being indiscriminately planted across Yemeni territory. The project warned that these mines continue to pose a grave threat to civilians, particularly children, women, and the elderly, and are designed to spread fear and cause long-term humanitarian harm. Massam reaffirmed its commitment to clearing Yemeni land and protecting civilians from deadly legacy of landmines.
For continuous updates, stay with Saba Satellite Channel. Thank you for watching and have a good time.